everybody. It's the NFT Roundtable Podcast, a podcast produced by Umba Daima. I'm your host, Iris Nevins. It's Tuesday, June 7th, 2022, and I'm talking to Alexander Yosef, the CEO and co founder of INFLOW, which is a new platform that lets musicians, athletes, and brands launch their own cryptocurrencies. Welcome, Alexander. We're happy to have you today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. Definitely seeing the work that y'all been doing in the space. Small space, so everybody kind of knows of each other. So excited to have this conversation.
Awesome. So tell us a bit about your background and how you got to the point of creating Inflow.
Yeah. So long story short, I studied economics. I got into crypto in 2016, so I understood it from an economic standpoint. But then also, I worked in tech as well too. Started internship at like tech companies, crypto companies, decentralized exchanges, like really early. Before I even knew like what was gonna happen. And so I went through like the first cycle in 2016, 2017, and then from there, just kind of like working and investing in the space. I was working in basically music at night, and during the day I'd be working in tech or crypto or whatever companies that I was working for at the time, and I was wanting to find a way to mix those two worlds. I saw the inefficiencies in the music space, and then but I saw also what was going on in crypto, people creating their own platforms, cryptocurrencies, tokens, and NFTs and all that. So I decided to just mix those two together in 2020, middle of the pandemic, while everybody was at home. Start this new venture.
Awesome. And so why music? Why music and athletes as opposed to some other population of people?
Yeah, so I think the narrative of the struggling artist is like well overdue to be over. Like, if you think about it, it's almost fantasized to an extent that like if you're an artist and you're just starting out, you could be talented, but you can't make a living until you're either making $0 or you're making $1 million, right? And so finding that in between, I think crypto gives us that chance. Web3, just the ownership economy gives us that chance, just because we have these different tools, right? And so I thought, well, first it was really because it's my main passion is working in music and working in sports as well, or being an ex-athlete. So it's really just a mixture of those two passions, but then really from a business perspective, it has the highest pain points, right? Music, out of all our professionals, are the most famous people. Musicians are the most famous people, but they have the shittiest contracts. And so there's a high pain threshold there that I think we could solve.
Okay. That's a very noble path to take. I resonate. I'm on a similar path as well with trying to help creators make a living, make a decent living. Tell me about your co-founder, your team. Like, how did y'all? What was the point at which you were like, okay, let's create a business, let's fundraise, let's like go all in. It's a huge commitment.
Yeah. So I was actually a solo founder for a while, for a good year. 2020, June 2020, I started a business. I didn't get my co-founder until June 2021 or May. I think it was July 2021. And so I got into shout out to the people at Consensus and Tachyon. I got into like one of the most prestigious accelerators. And they're like, dude, you got to get a co-founder. You can't even code. Basically, I was funding everything. I was bootstrapping everything through trading. I would basically like trade crypto during the day, and I would pay developers and agencies to build out the product. And it just wasn't sustainable. And so I went on this co-founder search, and I found like literally the basic or the perfect match, right? And so my co-founder is an award-winning producer and composer with the Royal Opera House in London. He produces for R&B people in the UK. He's really like deep in the music space, but then also he has 7 years of coding, developing Solidity. He's built NFT platforms. He's built DeFi platforms. So it was almost like the perfect match. And so yeah, definitely with him, it's like it made sense that this is the first pain point that we were going to solve with music, and then expanding from there, hiring our first developers. We have a team of about five right now, 3 developers and 2 business people. And so yeah, it's been a long journey, but we're finally at the point where we're about to launch, and really, we have built up a roster of artists and then also athletes as well too, that's coming next.
Okay, that's amazing. That's really exciting. So, where do you see inflow in the coming years in the Web3 space? What kind of position do you want to have?
Yeah, we want to be Uniswap for the culture. When I say that, I want to be decentralized, open source, but I also want to have these communities where our people could invest in each other and have ownership in each other, right? For a utility and actually give utility to social tokens. But yeah, that's what I want to be Uniswap for our culture and for other people's culture, not just our culture, but like anybody that has a culture, has a community, has a group of people that coming together for a cause, wanted to bootstrap that, want to provide liquidity, utilities, and really bring social back to social tokens, or bring it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was never there, but a lot of these social token platforms, yeah, you could put out a token, but it's not very social. With us, we kind of have different elements stacked on top of each other, like live streams, NFTs. Token gated content is the main thing we're going to be rolling out with. So,
Mm-hmm.
3 years, we want to be a household name.
Amazing. And when is the launch?
So we haven't put a specific date on it, but like we're on main. We just flipped the switch to mainnet this week, so we're just testing. We were testing on testnet. We flipped the switch to mainnet this week. For people that probably see this later, it is June 7th, 2022, and then probably next week we're gonna start announcing our artists. We've kind of already told some of our community members the artists that we're launching with, but over the coming weeks we're gonna be launching artists one by one. Each
Mm-hmm.
artist is gonna have like their own launch week where we do interviews and Twitter Spaces and stuff like that. So within the next 2 weeks, you'll see some artists launched on mainnet, on Ethereum mainnet. These are going to be ERC20 tokens, and it's pretty cool stuff that they're launching, right? Like behind the scenes footage for concerts, studio sessions, and people that are buying these tokens. You're not just buying these tokens and just holding them in your wallet. You're using them to access experiences with these artists. So
Mm-hmm.
launching in the next 2 weeks.
Can you are there any artists that you can share that you've already talked about publicly?
Man, I really want to shout out. So I could name a lot of Web2 artists that you'll probably know of, but really the people that have been the most helpful in this are people like Stones, Harrison First, Black Dave. Harrison already has his own token, but like just talking with these people and like bouncing ideas off each other, like Black Dave, Stones Organic. A lot of even Latasha, early days, we talked to Latasha just about showing them the application,
Mm-hmm.
and just the feedback. Those are the people that we're serving, right? We're gonna go after the Web3 musicians, the people that know how to use the application first, and then expand to the Web2 artists. And so we do have a good amount of Web2 artists as well too. Domo Genesis, KC Veggies. So those are the starting out list. And then I'm also from Dallas, Texas, so just onboarding really wherever I am. The Dallas artist, the
Mm-hmm.
LA artist. I'm currently in LA right now as well too. But yeah, we have a good amount. We actually have a good amount of athletes as well too, which I will save for. We'll focus on music for now.
So walk me through the features. Like if I'm a user, if I'm a let's talk through the features as a creator first. So if I'm a
Mhm.
creator, I create an account, like what happens next, and then we could talk through the collector experience after.
Yeah, so it's gonna feel like any other social media platform. You're gonna create an account. But except you're gonna connect your wallet to you're gonna have your email address and your wallet. You're gonna connect those two to your profile. Put up your profile song, your profile picture, your bio, and then you get to upload any type of content, whether it is songs, audio, that is already out on YouTube. So you have a public section, and then you'll have a token gated section. Your token gated section is going to be where private content will be, right? Whether it's live streams, whether it's behind the scenes content, interviews, studio sessions, stuff like that. So we made it really easy for you to launch your own token. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, all you do is sign a transaction to launch your token, and even for the first couple artists, we're going to be handling the gas fees. But we're lucky gas is pretty low right now, but it's actually you're deploying your own smart contract, and with just a click of a button, you just sign the transaction, so you're the authorizer. And so for a creator, we made it really simple. It's gonna feel like you're just making an Instagram profile or a YouTube profile. You're just posting videos and content there.
Okay. Very, very, very interesting. Is there going to be a ticketing feature?
So we talked about that actually a couple times of just like being able. I think the ticketing feature is going to be NFT. So like back. So to answer actually, you asked about the user on the user end. So I talked about the creator, but on the user end, as a fan, I would have there's basically every artist can see their leaderboard of okay, I'm the top fan for Drake and I own 1,000 of his tokens, right? And so now Drake can see that I'm his top fan, and now they can airdrop. He can airdrop me an NFT to a concert or behind the scenes pass. And so I think instead of creating a whole new ticketing platform, just using the underlying technologies that's there with NFTs and letting people airdrop that is just really transparent. Now you see, okay, this person is a top token holder. Let's add layers and layers of utility upon the tokens that they already have.
Mm-hmm.
But we are able to token gate. So if you have a website where you're selling tickets, we can token gate that as well too. If you want to do like free tickets, so it's very flexible. The token gating technology is like we can token gate merch websites, token gate any type of website that you have, right? As long
Mm-hmm.
as like people don't know the URL. If you just master the URL through our website and you require a certain amount of tokens, it's almost like having a tiered fan club on chain,
Mm-hmm.
and then the blockchain gives you.
Okay. And then as a user now, what's the experience? I create an account. Do I see a list of creators or athletes and like pick the ones that I like? Is it a different dashboard for each person? What's that experience like?
Yeah. So I wish I could actually show you, but I'll show you after this interview what it actually looks like, and you can actually go to inflowmusic.io right now, and we're on testnet, so you'll see all the test artists and what the dashboards look like. But essentially, each artist has their own profile page, right? Almost like a mini DAO where all their fans could come and check out whether it is NFTs. So we allow people to import NFTs that they have from different platforms and show that on their profile page. So we want to create this atmosphere of almost like a one-stop shop to where if you want to check out what Iris is doing, instead of going to her Instagram to check out what she's doing in real life, or going to her Zora account to check out what NFT she dropped, you have an Inflow account that kind of is an aggregator of all this information, right? And so, first thing I could do as a fan is that you could go on there, you could discover new artists. We have a discover section, just like let's say just like Apple Music, right, where it shows a list of artists that are trending or whatnot. And you could kind of basically pick by genre, discover an artist, you buy their tokens with USDC
Mm-hmm.
on the that's our currency that we're using for the collateral. And so you buy their tokens with USDC. It's like now, what can I do with these tokens, right? Can I click on their audios? Can I listen to their music? Can I listen to their videos? Or maybe they just release a video that is you need 100 tokens in your account to watch it. Let me go and buy that 100 tokens. You
Mm,
get to enjoy that experience, but then you don't have to spend those tokens. You can keep them for another experience or keep on buying it so you could get another utility. And so, and then
gotcha.
you also have a wallet that visualizes all your tokens in your own portfolio as well too. So, yeah.
So when you buy tokens, you don't necessarily have to spend them on something. It's just if you have a certain amount, it can give you access to certain perks.
Yeah. You don't have to spend these tokens at all on anything on the application. If you want, as an artist, if you want to create a utility, so the good thing about us, so like no, you don't have to spend the tokens. But the good thing about how we do things is that these are actual ERC20 tokens that are free to even go out of our platform. So if you want
Mm-hmm.
to just create these tokens, have people buy it, and create a whole separate use case outside of our platform, you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Versus our competitors, like like Rally, for example, it's like on their own separate blockchain. So is that really a cryptocurrency? It has this utility to have a really neat system, but like it's not really composable. You can't build on top of it. You can't take it anywhere as well. But so yeah.
Okay. And then do y'all have a relationship with Flow Blockchain, Dapper Labs? I feel like I saw something about that.
Yeah, so we're exploring building on Dapper on the Flow blockchain. just because it is like low gas and economically or environmentally friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are launching on also Ethereum as well too. We plan to be cross chain. We plan to be on a lot of chains. How we see it is that there is no point in just like putting yourself on one chain, giving people the option, letting people choose, right? Choose your own adventure. If you want to be on the Flow blockchain, it has a lot of benefits. If you want to be on Ethereum, a lot of benefits. Polygon, other blockchains. We're exploring Solana as well too. And so every blockchain has their own ecosystem, has their own community of people that are doing certain things, doing different things. They have their own NFT platforms, and so our best thing is just to not limit that. With the advantages of bridges, like wormhole and all these different cross-chain functionalities, we can do that because people are building ways for everything to be connected.
Okay. Amazing. Amazing. Um, so what what do you think separates Inflow from some of the other? I know you mentioned Rally, and I know there's a number of other platforms out there that are exploring similar features. So what would you say differentiates you overall from these other platforms?
Yeah, first, what differentiates us from the music platforms and the music NFT platforms, I'll speak on that first, is that we are not monetizing music. It does not, our artists, what they're subjugated to is monetizing their derivative, which is their music, right? So anytime an artist makes money, it's always just because of the music that they put out. What we allow people to do, not only musicians, but all types of content creators, is monetize access to themselves. And
Mm-hmm.
so, no matter what record deal that an artist is in, they could be in the worst record deal of their lives, but they can't. A record label can't charge or can't like have a profit on them and have a take and basically they can't have a control on charging access to them, right? And so imagine an artist saying, "Hey, I'm going to be at the mall, at this store. Pay me $10 and you can come see me." A record label can't do that because it's not their music, right? And so we're kind of changing the paradigm of what it means to monetize yourself. A lot of times everything is monetizing your content, but like, what does it mean to monetize access to yourself and give people a right to vote on things, decisions that you can make? But what differentiates us from other platforms is a couple of things. So Rally and Roll are social token platforms. Just the way that we let people monetize. Every time somebody buys a token, you get a percentage or a fee on that. With Roll, they let you basically you have to go to the open market and sell your tokens to make money. That's considered a security. With us, we want to make sure that like it's basically a utility. The fans, the artists actually never even transacts their tokens or gives out their tokens. They just get a transaction fee every time somebody buys their tokens. And so automated passive income for the artist, semi-passive is not passive income, but and then also just that we are very close to the people. I don't think a lot of these platforms can say this. We are close to the people that we were serving. I think I'm the only founder that knows how to talk to a smart contract developer, but then also could go to the studio or go to the athletes and talk and have a normal conversation with them. There's not a lot of founders that can do that, that can play, and that has been in both of those worlds, right? So we're very close to the community that we're serving, and I think that's our biggest strength.
Okay. Amazing. So I'm curious about tokenomics. Like, are all of the creators, athletes, etc., are they launching the same number of tokens? Does the a number vary? How are those decisions made?
Yeah, so each token has a standard token economics, right? Each person that launches their token, they have 10 million tokens. Now that number can be changed, but I think it is just a conversation that we would bring up with the artists, and they would have to like maybe have their community vote on a snapshot vote once they do have the tokens, once they reach a certain threshold of amount of people that could actually vote on the total supply increasing. But each artist gets 10 million tokens, and then we were using something called a bonding curve, which essentially lets you price each token, right? So now instead of going to Uniswap and saying how an order books works is like all you go to Uniswap or Binance and you put in a bid saying I want to sell this token for $1, and somebody says okay, I'll buy it for $1. That's not how it is, and it's a little bit different with a bonding curve, which basically says token number one is 1 cent, token number two is 2 cent, and each token goes up in value after that, right? And so it's a prediction It's very predictable on what each token will cost, and so that
Hmm.
allows us to actually not be actually like predict or have to do a Uniswap, or we're basically our own market makers, right? And so now the fees that the artist takes is consistent. Each artist will take anywhere from 15 to 18% off every transaction. So if you put in $1 or you put in $100, $15 to $16 goes back to the artist. We make 3 to 5, and then we actually use our percentage that we take on the fees to buy back the artist token to set a floor. But yeah, each artist gets 10 million tokens. If they want to increase it, they definitely can. It's possible on a smart contract, but again, I think they would need to have their community vote once it gets to a certain threshold.
Okay. Super, super interesting. This is very exciting. I'm also thinking of ways that we could potentially use your platform as well. If someone wants to uh, launch on Inflow, what's the process?
Yeah, so we are able to approve people on the application. So all you have to do is go sign up, register your account, your user account, and then on a drop down menu, you'll actually see create artist account. You create your artist account, you upload all your pictures, your songs, your links, and that's where we will just verify that you are an actual artist. And then you upload some music videos, some songs, and then we approve your profile. And as simple as that. We want to make it as like open source and decentralized as possible. At first, we're really like, I think for the first month or two, we'll be really curating it and like introducing artists that from our community that we've already talked with. But then after that, I think we're just gonna like open it up for everybody. Again, we want to be as decentralized as possible, open and permissionless as possible.
Hmm.
We've also talked about having validated our inflow token, which will be coming out later this year, using that as people rewarding validators, right? And so now somebody from our community, your community, could get paid in inflow tokens to validate or onboard artists and say, okay, this is a real artist or athlete. Let's onboard them into the platform.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's very simple. Just hop on there, connect your wallet, and then create your account.
So, okay, okay. Um, so where do you see the market headed in the next 1 to 2 years? And I also, this ties into my other question, which is how do y'all monetize? There's a market downturn right now. A lot of companies are laying people off. A lot of startups are scared that they might go out of business. So, what's your monetization plan, and how do you feel about the crypto NFT market and where it's headed?
Yeah, for sure. I think it is. Recessions are a blessing to me, honestly. This is a chance where if you're an investor, you get stuff at a fraction of the cent. You could get shit at like a really big discount. But as a operator, I entered, so I've been through the 2016 or 2018 recession, boom and bust cycle, bear and bull cycle. I also started this in the middle of 2020 when everything was down. People thought crypto was dead. Ethereum was like at $80 or something like that. So I'm actually very comfortable in this environment. But it's really like we have to launch. We have to launch and execute. You have to raise. We're gonna raise with our token. So I think what it does is like let people. It basically flushes out everybody that's like all the NFT platforms. Everybody was creating an NFT platform, right? It was like a new one popping up each day. So I think the real value, the cream rises to the top, and I think is a way for builders to actually build, right? In recessions, and in these crypto bear markets, it really you get more resourceful as a company. We've had to get more resourceful and cut spending, but then also it lets us get more creative on different products that we can launch, how to diversify and make sure that we're alive as a company, especially for a black company that we've been blessed to have like a lot of great investors and partners. But really, the token, how we raise with our token is going to be pivotal in the value that we bring to our community. And so, yeah, I love a good bear market. I love a good recession. Make sure you're dollar cost averaging into these cryptocurrencies. Ethereum and Bitcoin is the only things I'm invested in right now. But I think it's a good chance for people to, after every recession, that's how DeFi came about. DeFi didn't come, in the middle of 2018 when everything is hot. It came from that downtime of people having a chance to actually play with the technology. And this is a different recession because we actually have working products in our hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
The last part, it was people like EOS and Tron and raising all these huge valuations in 2018, but like there was no real products. Now it's very different. There's actually a lot of people in the different pockets of the ecosystem, whether it's in music NFTs, DeFi, DAOs is a huge part. And I think every cycle has its all star, right? ICOs was last time, DeFi and NFTs was this time, and we really believe that social tokens and DAOs are going to be the next wave of the next bull cycle, and we plan to capitalize on that. And I don't think when it comes to social tokens or DAOs, there is no like one clear cut. It's all about what your community is, right? There is no one NFT marketplace because it's all about what your community is. Whether you want to go on Sound, Catalog, Zora, even a Tezos marketplace, one of it's all about what your community and who you're serving. And I think, yeah, I think it's good. It's good for competition. It's good for resourcefulness, and I think I don't know. I strive in high pressure situations, so I was getting kind of lax when the market was going to get. So I'm glad we got a little bit of motivation now.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that. Before we wrap up, please share with everybody how people can get in contact with you, how they can follow you, and how they can find your company.
Yeah, so we're starting to get really active on Instagram. That is inflow.music for our Instagram. And then our Twitter is inflow underscore music.
Okay.
But then also you can hop in our Discord. Our website is inflowmusic.io. And then hit that about section and you go to our landing page, have all the information you want about our team. So yeah, feel free to message me on Twitter, Instagram, Discord. Hope to see you on that.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Alexander. I hope
Yeah.
everybody. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying thank you, Artis. Thank you for having me. It was a great combo.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Definitely go check out Inflow. We'll include all of the links as well in the show notes. And I'll see you all next time.